On this week's show, I sit down with the newly elected student body president, Yanni Vandries. Chisom Ilogu sits down with Capstone Speaker Steven Prothero. Nico Mendoza brings us a report from boys varsity crew and some senior spring bucket lists. Lawrenceville's 10-minute newscast begins right now. Coming to you from the Kirby Art Center, this is a special edition of L10 with Ghael, Fobes. Hello and welcome to this week's show. On Tuesday and Wednesday night, the College Counseling Office hosted their annual four-form college fair. Representatives from several colleges and universities attended and answered questions from prospective students. Tonight, the McClellan House will host their annual charity dinner in support of the Sega Girls School in Tanzania. The dinner will feature a three-course meal, musical performances, and a presentation about school courtesy of Nurturing Minds, the nonprofit organization that runs Sega. On Friday, Lawrenceville announced the 2017 Healy Scholars. Maya Jongren, Sophia Kai, Christina Dazak, Kathy Wu, Injil Muhammad, Michael Knowles, Panos Vandries, and Sam Cabot will spend 2 weeks this summer researching a specific topic in the Lawrenceville Stefan archives. Yesterday at lunch, students voted for the 2016 student body president and elected Yanni Vandries. I had the opportunity to sit down with him for a one-on-one interview. Congratulations, Yanni, on your recent election.
Thank you.
How did you first react?
When I first heard the news, it was a lot of shock, excitement, and a little bit of fear all at the same time. Mostly, I was just very grateful that my classmates had selected me to be their next student body president.
And which of your proposals that you had over the forum and in the various interviews, which one of those are you most excited in enacting?
I would have to say that the reinvigoration of the proposal system is probably what I'm looking forward to the most, and returning the power and the voice back to the student body is at the top of the list of things to do. All
right. Will you attempt to implement any of the ideas of any of your opponents in the finalist round or even before that?
Definitely. I think that the student council is a council for just that reason, in that one person can't come up with all the ideas to make our school better. I think that the other candidates presented fantastic ideas in their platforms and in their speeches, and I look forward to working with them for solutions to the problems that our community faces.
Do you have one in particular that you think from any of the previous candidates?
I was really interested in the academic sanctuary idea of Patrick Taylor and the one that Isaiah Wingfield pushed forward, as well as the TEDx Lawrenceville talks that Eliza Corrin mentioned.
I see. During the presidential debate, you mentioned that you want to make people happy. How are you going to balance this with the desire, with your desire to address sort of harder issues here at Lawrenceville?
I think that balance is something that a president and the student council always have to struggle with. The social side and the fun side is often the focus of presidential campaigns and initiatives. But I think that it's important to balance that with the serious reform that I'm looking to do. So in cooperation with the social rep and athletic rep and people of that nature, we can put together some great programs, make Lawrenceville really a fun place while also addressing the harder hitting issues with the proposal process.
I see. And just lastly, do you have anything to say to the Lawrenceville community in general?
Generally, I want to thank Mr. Murray and specifically Mr. Eldridge, or Dean Eldridge, for helping me through this process, and big thank you to the student body who elected me, and I look forward to serving them.
Thank you. On Monday, our executive producer and senior news correspondent Chisom Ilogu sat down with New York Times bestselling author and Boston University professor of religion, Steven Prothero.
Thanks, Ghael. Tonight I'm here with Professor Steven Prothero, a professor at Boston University. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Great to be here.
All right, so the first question I have for you is about one of your books. So in 2010, you published a novel called God Is Not One, which really went through separating a couple of major religions in the world. I think there are 8 of them, right? So I wanted to know about specifically people of the book, so Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And their God is typically conflated into one. How did you tackle that in your book?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I really emphasize in the book the differences across the religions. So I'm more interested really in how they analyze the human problem and then how they try to solve it. So in Christianity, for example, I think the idea is the human problem is sin, and then the solution is salvation, right? Getting rid of sin, and then Protestants and Catholics will debate how to do that. I think in Islam, the problem is really pride. It's not really sin. Different problem. And so then the idea is like, oh, I can live independent from other humans and from God. I'm like self-reliant and self-sufficient, right? And so then the solution to that is some kind of submission to God, getting out of that self-reliance, getting out of that pride. So when I think of the traditions, they obviously share a lot. Like you said, people have the book idea. Mm-hmm. They have this idea there's a God. God speaks through prophets. What the prophets say is written down in scriptures. Mm-hmm. God is a lawgiver and a judge. There'll be an afterlife. There's the resurrection of the body. Like, they share all those things. Mm-hmm. But I think when they really look at analyzing the human problem and get about solving it, they differ.
Thank you, Chisom. Now we have a report from Mercer Lake, where our senior sports correspondent, Nico Mendoza, joined boys varsity crew on one of their practices.
I'm here on Mercer Lake to see the boys varsity crew team practice. I also got a chance to speak to head coach Wright and to Captain Conway Staunton. Let's take a look. I'm here with head coach Wright. So tell me, Mr. Wright, how's the season going so far?
It's going well. We started rowing March 10th in Augusta, Georgia for spring training. Taught a bunch of new guys how to row and got going with the varsity guys, and they're moving along pretty well. We've had 3 racing weekends so far, going up against some good crews. We beat a whole bunch of good crews and got nipped by a few good crews. We're making progress.
I mean, what would you say it takes to be, to row? I mean, well, number one, you obviously got to be very strong, but what specifically would you say they need?
Well, number one thing I think is probably to row well is concentration, mental capacity to concentrate, to bring yourself fully to the task at hand. If your mind wanders at all, you don't row very well. And you're not thinking about, oh, I have to do this. It's just sort of focusing on what you're doing. Feel the boat, how it's going, just focusing on what you're doing.
So it's not just strength, it's a mind game.
No. It's in the head. And after that, it's do you have the capacity to go and go and go when you don't want to go anymore?
Yeah. Push past your limits.
And then do you have the capacity to work for a long time, like year over year over year, to get better at rowing?
And who would you say are some of your best rowers on the team?
We have a very strong fifth form class. Conway Stanton, our captain, Tom Bischoff, Henry Evans, Kyle Fram, and then a couple smaller guys who are also very good rowers, very good strong athletes, Olivier Mall and Alex Malewski. And they've provided some good leadership and motivation, inspiration. They're doing really well.
I'm here with Conway Staunton, captain of the boys varsity cruise team. Conway, I understand you went to England over the summer to participate in the Henley Regatta. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Henley is an event that happens once a year in the summer. It's pretty much the premier championship racing in the rowing world, so that means there's only 2 lanes, 2 boats go down, they race it out. It's pretty much the March Madness of the rowing world.
What are you going to miss most about Lawrenceville crew?
I'd say it's definitely the senior guys. I think we really have a unique group. And just the senior leadership, all in all, everyone has just been fantastic, leading the team to great places. So I say that's what I'll miss most.
Thank you, Nico. Finally, we have a report from Victoria Cruz, who had a chance to chat with a few fifth formers about their senior spring bucket list.
Thanks, Ghael. So I caught up with some seniors today during lunch regarding what they're going to do their last 40 days here at Lawrenceville. Let's see what they said. So what do you guys want to accomplish in the last 40 days here at Lawrenceville?
I want to meet new people.
I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I want to Healy through the bowl.
Like, spend time with my friends. In my last 40 days at Lawrenceville, I just want to meet more people in our grade and just talk to more people that I've never been able to talk to before. And really use my time outside of class to just hang out and spend quality time with everyone.
I don't really have anything to add.
Oh my God!
In my last 40 days, I want to be on L10.
I'm building a shed on the Big Red Farm for my senior project, so I definitely want to get that done. I also want to hang out with this guy a little more. What do you want to do, Kyle?
I'll probably visit the shed.
I want to enjoy the sunshine and have a good time with my friends.
I want to embrace the friendships I made and appreciate everything Lawrenceville has offered me.
We want to spend our last 40 days with our stand girls.
I want to really enjoy these moments with my friends. And pass math, pass econ, and tan a lot.
I want to keep it real, 100% as always, since freshman year.
Thank you, Victoria. That is our show for Saturday, April 23rd, 2016. From all of us here at L10, thank you so much for watching. We'll return next week to our regular Thursday night release. See you then.